I was at a job interview today when the manager handed me his laptop and said, "I want you to try to sell this to me." So I put it under my arm, walked out of the building, and went home. Eventually he called me and said, "Bring my laptop back here right now." I said, $200 and it's yours. My lesbian neighbors Eva and Julia have asked me to help them conceive a child recently. They said they wouldn't mind if we did it the old-fashioned way as they weren't man-haters. For 6 months now we've been trying, but I just don't have the heart to tell them I had a vasectomy last year. The husband leans over and asks his wife, "Do you remember the first time we had sex together over 50 years ago? We went behind the village tavern where you leaned against the back fence and I made love to you." "Yes," she says, "I remember it well." "Okay," he says, "how about taking a stroll around there again and we can do it for old time's sake?" "Oh Jim, you old devil, that sounds like a crazy, but good idea." A police officer sitting in the next booth heard their conversation and, having a chuckle to himself, he thinks to himself, "I've got to see these two old-timers having sex against a fence. I'll just keep an eye on them so there's no trouble." So he follows them. The elderly couple walks haltingly along, leaning on each other for support aided by walking sticks. Finally, they get to the back of the tavern and make their way to the fence. The old lady lifts her skirt and the old man drops his trousers. As she leans against the fence, the old man moves in. Then suddenly they erupt into the most furious sex that the policeman has ever seen. This goes on for about 10 minutes while both are making loud noises and moaning and screaming. Finally, they both collapse, panting on the ground. The policeman is amazed. He thinks he has learned something about life and old age that he didn't know. After about half an hour of lying on the ground recovering, the old couple struggles to their feet and put their clothes back on. The policeman is still watching and thinks to himself, "This is truly amazing. I've got to ask them what their secret is." So, as the couple passes, he says to them, "Excuse me, but that was something else. You must have had a fantastic sex life together. Is there some sort of secret to this?" Shaking, the old man is barely able to reply, "50 years ago that wasn't an electric fence. My dad first talked to me about sex when I was going to college. He said, 'Son, in college you're going to be surrounded by beautiful girls, so I got you something from the chemist.' 'Dad,' I said, 'I have condoms.' And he said, 'You won't need condoms, I've got you some antidepressants.'" A woman visits her husband in prison. Before leaving, she tells a correction officer, "You shouldn't make my husband work like that. He's exhausted." The officer laughs, saying, "Are you kidding? He just eats and sleeps and stays in his own cell." "Bullshit. He just told me he's been digging a tunnel for months." "Wife, I regret getting you that blender for Christmas." "Me? Sipping toast, why?" A married couple went to the hospital to have their baby delivered. Upon their arrival, the doctor said he had invented a new machine that would transfer a portion of the mother's labor pain to the father. He asked if they were willing to try it out. They were both very much in favor of it. The doctor set the pain transfer to 10% for starters, explaining that even 10% was probably more pain than the father had ever experienced before. But as the labor progressed, the husband felt fine and asked the doctor to go ahead and kick it up a notch. The doctor then adjusted the machine to 20% pain transfer. The husband was still feeling fine. The doctor checked the husband's blood pressure and was amazed at how well he was doing. At this point they decided to try for 50%. The husband continued to feel quite well. Since the pain transfer was obviously helping out the wife considerably, the husband encouraged the doctor to transfer all the pain to him. The wife delivered a healthy baby with virtually no pain. She and her husband were ecstatic. When they got home, the mailman was dead on the porch. "My girlfriend told me women are better at multitasking than men. So I told her to sit down and shut up. Guess what? She couldn't do either. I met a girl at a club the other night and she told me she'd show me a good time. When we got outside, she ran a 40-yard dash in 4.8 seconds. I've got a meeting with the guy that invented the progress bar during the era of dial-up internet. He's going to be here in 2 hours and 13 minutes. Edit, apparently he's stuck in traffic and he's going to be here in 6 hours 54 minutes. Edit 2, he's making better progress than thought, he will be here in 12 minutes. Edit 3, apparently it will now take him 5 days. I was browsing in a liquor store when an employee asked me, "Do you need help?" I said, "Yes, but I'm here to get whiskey instead."